Okay, in this video we are going to prove this statement. A simple graph with n vertices and k components can have at most n minus k into n minus k plus 1 divided by 2 edges. Okay, so before proving this statement, let's look into one example. Okay, so let's consider a graph with 6 vertices and 2 connected components. So in this case n equal to 6 and k equal to 2. So here I gave 3 ways of splitting this 6. Okay, 6 can be partitioned like 5 1, 4 2 or 3 3. Okay, so if you consider this graph, it contains 5 vertices here. Okay, the partition will be 5 vertices and 1 isolated, 4 vertices here, 2 vertices here, 3 here and 3 here. Okay, and so anyway, here we are dealing with a simple graph, so there won't be any loop or parallel edges. Okay, and we are looking for having at most, okay, an upper bound on the number of edges, right? So somehow we need to add as many edges as possible, right? So if we consider the splitting like 5 on one side, on one component and 1 on another component, then the maximum number of edges will be for a simple graph corresponds to k5. Okay, so here we have one k5 and one isolated vertex. Okay, so let's count the number of edges here. So number of edges here is 5 into 4, 10. Okay, similarly if you split this vertex set into 4 and 2, okay, and each component must be a complete one. Okay, that is the maximum number of edges that we can have, right? Okay, so if you count the number of edges here, number of edges will be 4 into 3 6. Okay, 1 2 3 4 6. Okay, 6 plus 1, which is 7. And if you partition something like 3 3, so we have two k3s here, and the total number of edges is 3 plus 3 6. Okay, so if you look into these three ways for splitting a graph, okay, you can see that this graph, it has the maximum number of edges. Okay, so in this case for n equal to 6 and k equal to 2, the maximum number of edges that we can have is 10. Okay, so it will be like we will have say two components here, and one component contains 5 vertices and the other component contains a single vertex, and here the 5 vertices are connected by an edge between each and every pair, so it corresponds to k5. Okay, similarly you can work out for same thing, n equal to 6 and k equal to 3. Okay, so here again if you look into this thing, you can see that the upper bound will be like, if you assume this statement, it will be like 6 minus 2 into 6 minus 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, that is 4 into 5 divided by 2, which is 10. Okay, we can see that here we have that situation, right? Okay, similarly if you work for this thing again, you can see that okay, here we have 3 partitions and 2 of them will have 2 vertices, 2 isolated vertices, and the other component will have the remaining 4. Okay, and here it will be a k4. Okay, so here the number of vertices is number of edges is equal to 6. Okay, I think this is the maximum possible edges with n equal to 6 and k equal to 3. Okay, let's see by substituting here. So it will be like 6 minus 3 times 6 minus 3 plus 1 divided by 2, which is equal to 3 into 4 divided by 2, which is nothing but 6. Okay, so anyway, this is the kind of idea. So let's go and prove this statement. Okay, a simple graph with n vertices and k components can have at most n minus k into n minus k plus 1 divided by 2 edges. Okay. So let G be a graph with n vertices and k components. Okay, let the components be say G1, G2 all the way up to Gk. Okay, and let the number of in the ith component be say ni. Okay, so the number of components in G1 is n1, G2 is n2 and so forth. And here we can see that if we sum up all those, we get n1 plus n2 plus nk, and this quantity must be equal to n, where n is the number of vertices in the graph. Okay, so let's look into this particular component Gi. Okay, so Gi has ni vertices. So the maximum possible number of edges in Gi is okay when Gi is a complete graph. Okay, and if Gi has ni vertices, the total maximum possible number of edges in Gi is ni into ni minus 1 divided by 2, since we are dealing with a simple graph, because so there won't be any parallel edges or loops. So maximum possible number of edges in Gi is ni into ni minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so if you consider the entire graph, thus the maximum number of edges in G is the sum of the number of edges in n1, n2, n3, etc. Okay, so if we consider an arbitrary connected component Gi, the maximum possible number of edges is ni into ni minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so what you do is you will sum up the number of edges in all the components. Okay, from 1 to k, ni into ni minus 1 divided by 2. So which is nothing but half times sigma I equal to 1 to k, okay, ni squared minus 1 by 2 sigma I equal to 1 to n ni. Okay, so what I did is I distributed this ni. Okay, so it is half into sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared minus 1 by 2 into sigma I equal to 1 to n ni. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we are going to use an inequality to come up with this bound. Okay, and so the inequality that we are going to use here is this one. So anyway, we will prove this after completing the proof for the previous statement. Okay, so this statement says for any set of positive integers, okay, set of positive integers n1 n2 up to nk. Okay, this term sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared, this quantity is always less than or equal to sigma I equal to 1 to k ni the whole squared minus k minus 1 into 2 times sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus k. Okay, anyway, we will prove this statement after proving the previous one. So we are going to this inequality there. Okay, so in that inequality we saw we have this kind of thing, n equal to n1 plus n2 plus up to nk. Okay, so that says this will be like sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared is equal to, okay, this is some squared, right? So this will be like n squared minus k minus 1 times 2 into sigma I equal to 1 to k ni is nothing but n. Okay, n minus k. So this is the inequality that we are going to use in our proof. Okay, sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared is equal to n squared minus k minus 1 into 2n minus k. Okay, so let's use that inequality here. So this is no more. So here we have this ni squared. So we are going to replace sigma equal to 1 to k ni squared by this right hand side. Okay, so this is less than or equal to. Okay, so this is less than or equal to 1 by 2 times the result from the next slide. Okay, n squared minus k minus 1 into 2n minus k minus this thing 1 by 2. Okay, again we can see that sigma equal to 1 to n, ni is nothing but n. Okay, and okay, the rest is just algebra. Okay, anyway, let's go through that algebra. So we can see that that is equal to 1 by 2. So if you multiply these together, you will get 1 by 2 times n squared minus 2nk plus k squared plus 2n minus k minus n divided by 2. Okay, and if you simplify this, you get 1 by 2 times n squared minus 2nk plus k squared. Okay, so here we have 2n divided by 2. Okay, n okay, so if we bring this in 2n minus n. Okay, so this will be like k squared, okay, plus 2n minus k minus n. Okay, n squared minus 2nk k squared. Okay, this 2n minus k, okay, minus n. So we are taking this 1 by 2 outside, so that will be equal to 1 by 2 times n squared minus 2nk plus, okay, 2n minus n is n, okay, plus k squared minus k. So you can see that, okay, this is equal to 1 by 2 into n minus k into n minus k plus 1. So if you multiply these together, you will get the, okay, this, okay, n squared, okay, minus nk, so 2nk, okay, then k minus k into minus k, k squared, okay, minus k into k. Okay, so that's the proof. Okay, so that says the upper bound. So here we have this inequality, and if you follow the inequality, we can see that the upper bound is 1 by 2 n minus k into n minus k plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so anyway that's the proof, and let's go and prove this inequality. Okay, so this inequality is a common, it's a generalized version. For generalized version, okay, we use this particular inequality to prove our theorem, right? So in this step I think we use that inequality. We replace sigma equal to 1 to k ni squared by, okay, this inequality. Okay, so let's prove this inequality. Okay, so again it is going to be algebra. So go from one step to another and do some arithmetic. Okay, go from one step to another. Okay. So let's consider this quantity sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus 1. Okay, and we can see that this is nothing but sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus, so if you distribute the summation here we have sigma equal to 1 to k 1. So you are adding 1 k times, so this will be k. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we are going to square both sides. Squaring both sides, okay, we get sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus 1. Okay, this thing squared equal to sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus k squared. Okay, so next everything is going to be algebra. What we are going to do is we are going to square this side and this side. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So if you look into the right left hand side, it is nothing but n1 minus 1 plus, okay, so n1 minus 1 plus n2 minus 1, okay, n2 minus 1 plus all the way up to nk minus 1. Okay, this thing squared equal to, okay, so let's go and square the right hand side. So this will be this squared minus 2 times this into this plus k squared. Okay, so the right hand side will be like sigma I equal to 1 to k ni, okay, this thing squared minus 2 k, okay, 2 k times this quantity sigma I equal to 1 to k ni plus k squared. Okay, the last square term. Okay, so let's expand this side. So this is nothing but n1 minus 1 squared plus n2 minus 1 squared, etc up to nk minus 1 squared plus the cross terms. Okay, the cross terms are sigma I equal to 1 to k, sigma j equal to 1 to k, I not equal to j, ni minus 1 times nj minus 1, and that's equal to this right hand side sigma I equal to 1 to k ni whole squared minus 2k sigma I equal to 1 to k ni plus k squared. Okay, so here we can see that if look into this term, look, sum of the product of cross terms, right, this is always greater than or equal to 0. Okay, next what we are going to do is we are going to avoid this thing, okay, a non-zero quantity from this side. So if you avoid some non-zero quantity from this side, then definitely this will be, okay, left hand side will be less than or equal to this one, right. So if you avoid this one, we will get n minus 1 squared plus n2 minus 1 squared plus up to nk minus 1, okay, nk minus 1 squared is less than or equal to. So here we are avoiding this positive quantity, okay, greater than or equal. This is always greater than or equal to 0. So if you remove this portion, then okay, the remaining will be less than the right hand side, right? Sigma I equal to 1 to k ni whole squared minus 2k sigma I equal to 1 to k ni plus k squared. Okay, so let me use a new page. Okay, and next what I am going to do is I am going to square this thing. So I will get something like n1 squared plus 2n1 plus 1 plus n2 squared plus 2n2 plus 1, etc., etc. Okay, so if I do something like that, I get sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared. Okay, so that comes from this n1 n2 up to nk. Okay, minus again the cross term sigma I equal to 1 to k ni. Okay, sigma, okay, 2 times sigma, okay, 2 n1 2 n2 etc., etc. Okay, so 2 times sigma I equal to 1 to k ni plus the last thing. Okay, so here we have 1 plus 1 up to k, right? So it's equal to k, and that is less than or equal to the other quantity I equal to 1 to k ni whole squared minus 2k sigma I equal to 1 to k ni, okay, plus k squared. I simply copied from the previous slide. Okay, from this what I am going to do is, okay, now we have this thing, right? I am moving this to the right hand side. I get sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared is less than or equal to, okay, this quantity sigma I equal to 1 to k ni squared plus this time 2 sigma I equal to 1 to k ni, okay, minus k minus 2k sigma I equal to 1 to k ni plus k squared. Okay, so if you simplify this thing, you get, okay, this right hand side is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to k ni the whole square, okay, minus, I think you can go through this step, or if you multiply these together you get this one, okay, k minus 1 times 2 into sigma I equal to 1 to k ni minus 1. Okay, anyway, that's what we are trying to prove. Okay, and hence we are able to prove this inequality. Okay, so that's what we proved here, right? Okay, so let's look into a corollary for this statement. Okay, a simple graph with n vertices and k components can have at most n minus k into n minus k plus 1 edges. Okay, the corollary says for any simple graph with n vertices and, okay, for any simple graph with n vertices and more than, because this many edges, n minus 1 divided by n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 2 edges connected. Okay, any simple graph with n vertices and more than n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 2 edges is always connected. Okay, so let me give an example, then after that I will give the proof. Okay, the proof is very short. So let's consider a simple graph with, say, 4 vertices. Okay, and here again we are asking about the maximal kind of thing, right? Maximum edges that we can have. Okay, so the maximum, so if n equal to 4, then the maximum number of edges corresponds to this k4, right? Okay, so for any simple graph with n minus n vertices and more than this thing, okay, this quantity n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 2 edges is connected. So anyway, you can see that this graph is connected. So let's try to disconnect this graph. Okay, so in order to disconnect this graph, what we can do is, okay, we can make this vertex isolated. Okay, let me label that to make everything clear. Okay, next what I am going to do, I am going to make this vertex B disconnected from this graph. Okay, so B is now isolated and the remaining vertices are A, C and D, and we have all these edges. Okay, so if you look into this thing, we have 3 edges, okay, and n is equal to 4. So if you look, plug in this here, you get, okay, 3 into, okay, 3 into 4 minus 2, 2 divided by 2, right? Okay, that is 3. So if the number of edges is greater than or equal to 3, so we have this connected graph or complete graph K3, okay, and we are dealing with a simple graph with 4 vertices, okay, and 3 edges. Because suppose that we are going to add one more edge here, and since the graph is a simple graph, you are not allowed to have parallel edges or loop, okay, then that edge must go from any of these vertices to this B. Okay, so that's what this statement says. Okay, so once if you understood this thing, then the proof is very simple. So we are considering a simple graph with n vertices. So consider Kn. So Kn is the complete graph on n vertices. Okay, so Kn is connected. Okay, we want to disconnect that, right? Okay, so in Kn, the number of edges is equal to n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So in order to make this disconnected, what we do is we will isolate one vertex and delete all the edges incident on that, right? So if you consider this graph, which is K4, all the edges, degree of all the vertices are 3. So it's a 3 regular graph. Similarly, if you consider this one, this is an n minus 1 regular graph. Okay, so in order to make Kn disconnected, what you do is you will make one vertex an isolated vertex. So in order to make this isolated, you need to delete n minus 1 edges incident on that particular vertex. Okay, so the number of edges in that case will be like this thing minus n minus 1, because we are deleting n minus 1 edges from the graph. So if you simplify this thing, you get n squared minus 1 minus 2n plus 2 divided by 2 . Okay, or maybe you can take, okay, sorry for that, okay, you can take this n minus 1 out, n minus 1 out, then you are left with n minus 2 minus 1, okay, and that is nothing but n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 2. Okay, so that's it. So this is a corollary for that one. So if we are dealing with a simple graph with n vertices, and if the graph has more than n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 2, okay, then the graph will be, that simple graph will be connected. Okay, so that's it.